welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time, but stay with me on this video as I talk about flagpoling. I did flagpoling and I got my post-grad work permit within a day, so I'll explain that. And before I even get started on the video, thank you guys for staying in tune with my videos. I really appreciate it. I see the numbers going up, I see the subscribers going up, and I really do appreciate you guys. And for persons that are new here, welcome. My name is Sandy Brown, and of course on this channel I share information about life in Canada and immigrating to Canada. So if that's something that you are interested in, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends or family or whoever you think these videos would be useful to, and comment below if there's anything that you'd like to ask me, and of course like the videos. I'm gonna share my flagpoling story. So what flagpoling is the first question anybody will ask, and I guess that's the first question I asked anyway when I was introduced to it. So flagpoling is basically you going to one of the borders, going to the US, and at the border you are going over and coming back in order to go to a CBSA officer. And a CBSA officer is a Canadian Border Services Officers agency, Border Services Agency. I'll put the description here. But anyways, these people are basically immigration officers, and they can process your study permit, they can process your post-grad work permit. They also did process permanent residency prior to COVID. But basically you can go there and you can get your documents processed within that day. However, there's a few tricks to the process, and I'll tell you about it. So I'll start by telling my story, because if I tell my story, I think it's more relatable. So basically when I finished school, I got a job. I finished school on the Wednesday, I got a job the Thursday. I was supposed to start on a Monday. However, I discovered that if I don't submit my post-grad work permit application, I won't be able to work full-time. I will only be able to work part-time. Because I got this full-time position and I did not want to give that up, because it's an opportunity to start gathering my 1 year of work experience, I was in some sort of an uncomfortable situation. At the time, because I just completed exams, I could not get my conferred letter to say I've completed the diploma, the graduate certificate. I could not get any of those documentation, and that was a requirement to submit my post-grad work permit. Because though I worked at the school, I was able to pull some links. Ignore that. Let's go again. Because I was able to ask some people that worked in the office with me for a letter just indicating that I've completed all my courses successfully, and basically I will be graduating in June, blah blah. I got that letter early. So I got the letter on Tuesday, I want to say, of the following week, which means I've only completed 1 day of work, so that's still fine. But I wanted to go ahead and get my post-grad work permit in hand, because at that point I was a little bit afraid. Just to stop for a little bit, I would have gotten a 3 years work permit because I did 2 1-year programs, and this might be a different situation for somebody else that is doing a 1-year program, and so you'll get a 1-year work permit. This might not be something that you want to do. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it at all. And the reason why I say I wouldn't recommend that you go to the border to get your post-grad work permit is that you want to utilize the time they take to actually process your post-grad work permit. So let's say, for example, you've completed school today. Once you submit that application, you can go ahead and work full-time. However, I wanted to get my post-grad work permit so that my husband could get his work permit as well. I didn't want to slow up that process, and he was in a good job and he did not want to lose that job just based on his work permit expiring. But if you are, basically if you did a 1-year program, that 1-year program, you'll get a 1-year post-grad work permit. The day that you get that 1-year post-grad work permit is the day that it starts. And so that's why I don't recommend it for persons that did 1 year. Because let's say they take 4 months to process your post-grad work permit, that's fine. Once you've submitted your application, you're good to go. So I wouldn't be worried. So that 4 months plus the 12 months gives you 16 months that you can work and gather that 1 year of work experience if you would like to do the Canadian Experience Class Express Entry Stream. However, for me, I had 3 years, and that was enough time to get myself a job, get situated, get settled a little bit, and everything. So I opted in to go to the border to do that. So once I got all the documents, I drove, well, not me, my sister drove me all the way to Niagara, because at the time we were living in Toronto. Drove me all the way. We went across, we went to the Rainbow Bridge at first. And of course, a lot of people knew about flagpoling. So when I went around to the US and I let them know, oh, I don't want to enter the US, I just want to come around to go and speak to a border service agent. And then, so I believe they gave, when I went back around to Canada, I let them know, oh, I want to speak to a border service agent, and they'll give you a letter, or they'll say they're closed, or they're not taking anybody for the day, whatever the case may be. So when I went to the Rainbow Bridge, they're like, girl, we're not taking anybody else. This was early. This was probably about 7 o'clock in the morning, but people came well early, like well early. So I'm like, okay, Rainbow Bridge, that was a fail, fine. Let us do this again at Peace Bridge. You think I'd get through at that time, but no. We're not taking anybody else. We're full for the day. I'm like, oh my God. So I just took 1 day off from work to get this done, and I'm still stuck here. So we went to another bridge. There's another bridge that I don't think a lot of people go. I don't even know what the name of the bridge is. I can't even remember right now. But if I remember, I'll put it on the screen while we're editing. So I went around to that bridge, and then they gave us like a white paper or some yellow paper or something. They gave us a paper that we can go into the office. So once I went into the office, they would call you and let you know. I let them know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do my postgrad work permit. So the guy took all my documents, and then we sat and we waited for a while, probably 20 minutes or something. And then he called me back and he asked a few questions. I think he didn't really ask me anything. He was like, oh, I see that your transcript is very good. You're all A student. He didn't even go into working 20 hours or not. None of that. He didn't ask me any questions. He was like, okay, this is good. I see that your husband is also here on his work permit. And it was like, oh man, I wanted to extend your husband's work permit, but I needed 3 pay stubs from your current employment in order to give him that. Because I just started, I didn't have 3 pay stubs, so I would have to do my husband's online instead of coming in person. But he was really nice. I think the entire process itself of going to that particular bridge was, I want to say, about an hour. And he basically printed a postgrad work permit, and he was like, oh, because you've been a good student, I'll give you 3 years. Because remember, even though I did 2 1-year programs, 3 years is not guaranteed. Only 2 years is guaranteed. So it's the discretion of the officers to give you an extra year. So he gave me the 3 years, and basically that was that.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord.
It's pretty simple. So wherever you are, if there is like some border close to you and you can go around and come back, then it's applicable. However, you need a US visa. You can't just go through the people's border and be like, oh, I don't want to come to your country, I just need to use it for something. We can't do that. So we have to make sure that we have a US visa. And like I said, I want to reiterate this because this is not applicable for persons that are outside of Canada. It's just persons that are within Canada. Another point to note is that if you're on a 1-year if you're doing a 1-year program and you know that you're going to get a 1-year postgrad work permit, do not do this. Do not do this. It won't benefit you in no way unless you're thinking, oh, you're going to do some sponsorship or something. Do not do this, because that extra 4 months that they'll take to process your postgrad work permit will be that extra 4 months that you need for when your 12 months of work experience is completed. That 4 months you have a gap so that you can wait for your invitation to apply for permanent residency. So remember, I told you, and for this process, you just need to be close to a border or be willing to drive to one. 2, you need a US visa, and 3, you need to go early. You need to go early because these people know about this process. You also need to go ahead and check on the CBSA office. Like I said, you can just type in the bridge, like Rainbow Bridge or the Peace Bridge or whatever the other one is called, and they'll show you the times that office is open. I believe they're open from like 8 to 1 back in the day, and it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but not Monday, not Friday, whatever. So just double check the dates and double check the times, so that you know that you're not wasting your time, especially if you are very far from where the office might be. Just go there, check online, and make sure that you go early. So if it says that they open at 8, you literally, I'm so unfortunate because they only take a small amount of people. I think because when I went to the office, there wasn't a lot of people, so they do take a small amount of people. So you just want to make sure that you go in, and there's a chance that they won't be accepting you for the day. So that's why I'm saying go early. I had that situation with my husband because we went back to get his, but it just didn't work. Everybody was at every bridge, like every single bridge on the Niagara, and like people were just flocking in. And no matter what you did, the officers, before they send you in, they'll be like, they're not accepting anybody else for the day. They're not accepting anybody else for the day. And so while this is very, very crucial, it's very important to a lot of people, but you just have to be very mindful of these small, things that can hold you up. Is basically it. I hope this is helpful because I know a lot of people might be waiting still for their study permit extensions, and people with their 3 years or have some weird situation might still be waiting for their post-grad work permit, or any extension whatsoever that you have. You can go to the CBSA office at any land border, and then you'll be able to get your papers processed. But I hope this was very useful. That's my short story about flagpoling. I hope you will have a better story than I do, but this is very important, like I said, for persons to know. And once again, thank you guys so very much for your continuous support. And for persons that are new, if you're here to this part of the video, I know you enjoyed it, so thank you very much. Remember to subscribe to the channel, share it. Information is key. Information is power. Make sure that you comment below and hit the post notification bell so that once I post a video, you'll be notified, and I will try to be very consistent with posting my videos. And if there's anything else that you would like to know, please let me know. You can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram is below. Bye.